Hello Sunshine! In this video we're gonna give you model answers and vocabulary about small businesses. Check out my hat and address. It's a Thailand edition because I'm in Thailand.
And I am trapped in the cold in Scotland.
I'm just from the beach, so let's record small businesses. Whoa! Are there many small businesses in your area?
Well, it's a village, so everything we have here is a small family-owned business. I think the only exceptions are the co-op, the distillery up the road, and the factory down the road.
You know, Rory, I keep trying to start my own hot air balloon business, but it just doesn't take off.
Take off is a phrasal verb. And if you're interested in finding out more about phrasal verbs, you should check out our pod course, successwithielts.com/pod courses.
And it's a joke, dear listener.
The course is not a joke, but that was.
To start my own hot air balloon business. Hot air balloon is like this balloon, this big balloon that just goes there, but it just doesn't take off. Take off like a plane.
And take off like to be successful.
Yeah, it doesn't take off. It's not successful. It's a joke. I know it's horrible, but actually it's not that bad. Small businesses. So what is a small business? Can we have a definition? Like a small business, how many people and what is it?
Oh my god, now that you've asked me to define it, there are actually legal definitions of small businesses. Now, if memory serves, a small business is a company that's got 0 to 50 people, medium-sized is 50 to 100, and large is with 100 or more. Let me just double check that to make sure.
According to Wikipedia, small businesses are types of corporations, partnerships, which have fewer employees and less annual revenue than a regular sized business or corporation. So, kind of a small business is a business that earns not so much money as Google or Apple and has fewer employees.
And according to the government of the United Kingdom, a small business has an annual turnover of less than 50 million euros and employs fewer than 250 people. Did I say less than 50 people before? Oh wow, I'm in trouble with the grammar police.
Oh! Rory, you're an educated native speaker.
I got carried away. I studied business management, and one of these things was like legally defining a small business. And I'm pretty sure it's fewer than 50 people. I said less than, it should be fewer than. Sorry.
And it's a typical slip. A slip is kind of like not a mistake, but a slip of the tongue. And less people. Normally people say less people, less students, but grammatically it's not correct. And in IELTS, to be on the safe side, yeah, like fewer people, fewer books, but fewer is just difficult to pronounce. So it's much easier to say less people. And to people out there, just say less people, which is grammatically incorrect. Dear listener, when you talk about small businesses, you can talk about convenience stores, so some small shops, also hairdressers, restaurants, photographers, I'm reading from Wikipedia obviously, web design, computer programming, lawyers, accountants, dentists, medical doctors. So yeah, so kind of this, small businesses. And also you can talk about our podcast. Hey, Rory, you mentioned a distillery. A distillery for water?
Distillery for distilling whiskey. Now, do I know the process for distilling whiskey?
Oh, no. It's not a writing episode, so we're not going to discuss a process of whiskey.
Well, basically, it's not. It's like a. It's a.
That you do.
It's a very specific word though for a specific process, because people might say factory, but it's not factory. It's a distillery. Whiskey isn't made in a factory. It's made in a distillery. But how? It involves a very complicated process, which only Scottish people are allowed to know. State secrets. Sorry, can't tell you.
Do you prefer shopping in big companies or in small shops?
Honestly, I don't have a preference. I mean, whatever is readily available works for me. I mean, on the one hand, big companies tend to have more discounts. You can bulk buy there. But smaller companies are better for the local economy. So there's positives and negatives to both.
You can say I don't have a preference. So small businesses, big businesses, I don't have a preference. I can kind of choose either. Small shops work for me, or it works fine for me. Like big companies work fine for me. And if the examiner asks you to choose big companies or small businesses, you go with the second conditional. If I had to make a choice, I'd go for small businesses. Or if I had to choose, I'd choose big companies. Rory, tell us about this bulk.
Well, bulk buying is when you buy lots of things in one go because it's cheaper than going and buying like individual things. So for example, canned food, it's cheaper to buy in bulk than it is to go to the store and just buy one can each time because you have to pay for the transport costs and it can stay in your house for a longer period of time. So it's cheaper for you to do this rather than to go back and forth.
Why do some people prefer to shop in small businesses?
Well, it's similar to what I said. I imagine perhaps they like supporting the local economy, and large companies can be somewhat predatory in their business practices. It might also be the only choice they have. I mean, if you live in a small rural community, then all you might have is your local shop that's owned by one of the families there.
Small businesses help the local economy. That's why people choose them, right? And also you did say something about predatory business practices. Predatory, like rah, like tigers are predators.
It's like when companies deliberately price their goods lower so that more people will come to them and fewer people will go to other stores in the area, and eventually they'll wipe out their competition. And they can do that because they have the resources to do that. They might also do things like undercut suppliers. So like they're more willing to like pay suppliers more money, and so the suppliers go to them and they don't supply other businesses in the area. So those are all predatory practices. Also, lying to your customers is a predatory practice, saying, oh, if you shop here or if you buy our thing, then it'll be much better for you than these places. And of course, it's not true. So all of these things are predatory. They're not, I don't think they're illegal, but they're certainly not moral. What I mean to say is, it's not true until it comes to us. In which case, all of our stuff is great, and you should definitely only purchase Success with IELTS products if you want to succeed. Definitely. No lying going on here. Not at all.
Would you ever like to run your own small business?
I already do. I run this podcast with 3 of my colleagues, and I teach English privately online. And frankly, I'd rather do that than work for some large institution. It gives me greater flexibility, and it fits in with my belief in localism and, well, like I said, being flexible.
We say that I run my own business. So I set up my business, set. So last year I set up my own business, or I want to set up a small business and now I run it. Not just like I run it, I jog it. jog it. I run my own business, I manage my own business, I'm the boss. And you can say that it gives me flexibility. And Rory told us that it fits in with his beliefs. So how does it fit in with your beliefs? Like fit in, like matches Rory's beliefs?
Yeah. Well, you basically described it there. There's nothing more I can do. It does. If something fits in, then it's a good match. It's something that's consistent. So for me, like if I believe in giving power to local people and making sure that you can live flexibly, then you should work with small businesses most of the time.
When was the last time you bought something from a small business?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. I'd have to think about it for a bit. I think, well, probably the other day, I actually picked up some food from the local butchers here. They're actually pretty good. They've won lots of awards for their work, even though it's a small company. I think it only has like 3 or 4 people working there.
Dear listener, if a question is a bit bizarre and you don't know how to answer it or you don't have any ideas, you can react to the question. For example, that's a good question, or that's a tough one. That's a difficult question, let me think. So just like react to the question. And Rory also used another strategy. Rory said, I'd have to think about it for a bit. So I would have to think about it for a bit. for a bit. For a bit. For a bit, just for a little bit. Why did you say, I would have to think about it? I'd have to think about it for a bit.
I don't know why it's I'd. Like, because you're doing it now, so you would normally think, like, you would think that you'd have to say, I'm thinking about it now. But, so why is it would? Why is it would, Maria? Help me out. I don't know, but there is a reason why.
I think it's just more natural. Like, I'd like to, I would have to. You can say, like, I have to think about it now, but I'd have to think about it now. It just sounds more natural. It's just because. Like, just do it.
There must be something. It's like a polite way of saying, like, I'm trying to distance myself from my behavior because it's rude to just stop and think. You have to explain what you're doing and you're not being rude.
So you can kind of remember this phrase. That's a good question. I'd have to think about it for a bit. For a bit, yeah? So, Rory, could you say the sentence again? Rory!
What?
Say it again! Are you listening?
That's a good question. I'd have to think about it for a bit.
And Rory told us that he went to the butcher's. Butcher's is a shop where you buy meat, sausage, and different kinds of products. So butcher's, and a butcher is a person who cuts different types of meat. So Rory said that I picked up some food from the butcher's next door. So the butcher's, the actual shop. He picked up some food, he bought some food, and pick up is a phrase of, we do have a phrase of course.
Yes, successfulielts.com/podcourses.
One more question to you. So, if you were to set up your own business, so just like Rory, not us, just Rory, so which of the three options, I'm gonna give them now to you, which one would you choose? You have to choose one, and mind you, you have to choose one, okay? You just don't have a choice, you just choose one. Okay, so would you set up your own pet sitting company? Pet sitting, like you sit with other people's pets, like a baby sitter for some pets. T-shirt printing, okay, so a small business where you would print T-shirts. Or would you have your food truck, like a huge car with food, and you would sell it to it?
Well, my cousin already has a food truck, so that kind of is taken care of. And then my cooking is awful, so not the food truck. And I have designed t-shirts with people before, and they were funny ones, so that would be a good fit. But I also quite like the first option as well.
Yes, so as a pet sitter, you'll watch over your clients' pets, like different cats, snakes, dragons, unicorns, and like
all of
different
these totally real animals.
Insects. And you will kind of like care for them and feed them, and yeah. So would you go for this one?
Can I not do two? Can I do two?
No, you should choose one.
Okay, well, in that case, t-shirts, because then you can, like, your slogans. Oh, no, wait, that's trashy. Never mind. I'll do the pet sitting. I would make a couple of t-shirts, but I'm not doing it for a job like that. I think making slogans on t-shirts is trashy, so no.
Dear listener, could you write in the comments what kind of small business would you like to have? Just like, let's like daydream, okay? Let's just like, if anything, what small business would you like to set up? Maybe like an ice cream maker or, you know, a head designer. Yeah, so anything. Let us know in the comments, and comment on my hat and address. It's Thailand style, so obviously I'm just from the beach, so I have, you know, like swimming. Yeah, and the next recording is gonna be from Moscow, so enjoy it while you can.
Bye.